Settle to all loaded. Blackout has approached the LZ.
Mankind has expanded its reach beyond the solar system. Factions, corporations, and syndicates are locked in a political and economic strife. The inevitable destruction and decay of a colonized exoplanet is imminent. Beta Decay is a dark, dystopian RPG where you can build spaceships, join factions, and fight for territory in a newly discovered star system. Live amongst the colonists as a citizen of the new frontier. Be an engineer repairing starships, to a syndicate leader executing raids deep within a labyrinthic neon city. Most games that open like that are lying to you. They paint a world on the box and ship you something smaller. Beta Decay is not doing that. And I think it's time somebody actually showed you why. February 5th, 2022. A page goes up on itch.io. One developer, going by Rotoscope Studios. The game is called Beta Decay Century. A project kickoff post. A dark science fiction RPG. A neon city. A star system. Spaceships. Most people kept scrolling. That was a mistake. It's now 2026, 38 monthly development logs later. More than 30,000 members on Discord. A roadmap tracking 51 features, 31 of them ready for testing, and a database launched just this past January, with nearly 200 entries covering every weapon, ore, chemical compound, and piece of equipment in the game. One developer, still building, still shipping devlogs on schedule every single month. His name is Kray, and before Beta Decay, he spent years on small hobby projects, nothing crowdfunded, nothing intended for release, just a person learning how to make things. Those projects taught him film editing, 3D modeling, and game architecture. He kept all the trailers up on the Beta Decay channel. He calls them personal reminders of where he started. Beta Decay is the one he didn't stop. So, Alpha Century. Positronic propulsion brought humanity here, beyond the solar system, to a newly colonized exoplanet. And instead of paradise, what they built was this. Mega tenements stacked into the sky for housing. Mega plazas owned by corporate consortia. Neon-soaked streets underneath, dense with crowds. A city that grows downward as much as it does up, labyrinthic, claustrophobic, alive. Above the city, the strata, the planet's topside, open terrain, ruined structures, weather that hits hard, windstorms, dense fog, rain, artillery barrages that cratered the surface, and somewhere out there, claymore mines left behind by people who didn't make it, still live, still armed, still waiting for someone to step on them. And then, there are the people fighting over it. 3 powers, 3 philosophies, factions and divisions. The closest thing this world has to law. Politicians and enforcers trying to maintain order, extend policy, protect the greater good. Whether or not that's actually what they're doing is another question. Corporations and conglomerates, capital above everything. Expansion by any means. Revenue growth dressed up as innovation. They own the mega plazas. They fund the wars they need to fund. And the syndicates, the cells, They operate specifically in the absence of policy. Sophisticated trade networks that destabilize corporate profits, combat hardened agents. They don't build empires, they hollow them out from the inside. And you pick one, or you build your own through an in-game terminal. You create a custom allegiance, assign it a badge, and start recruiting subordinates. But here's a detail that makes this real. The weapons aren't neutral. The M82, a 50 BMG anti-material sniper rifle, 15 kilograms, semi-automatic, built to destroy vehicles from distance, that's reserved for corporations and cells only. Factions don't get it. The RPG-7 is available across all three. The game has allegiances baked into the item system itself. Your faction shapes your loadout. Speaking of loadouts, Beta Decay ships 2 SMGs, 5 rifles, 2 pistols, a sniper, an anti-tank rifle, an RPG, a shotgun, HE grenades, claymores, AT mines, and throwing knives. Every weapon has real stats. That means caliber, magazine size, rate of fire, weight, and V-drop. V-drop, bullet drop, not an abstraction, a real value, per weapon, at distance. The M82 drops 8 centimeters at 200 meters. The RPG-7 drops 150 meters. You're not just pointing and clicking, you're calculating. And attachments modify all of it. Suppressors, scopes, bipods, foregrips, straps, static mounts that change how the weapon behaves. The database has 13 weapon attachments cataloged already, each with its own entry. And you know what's crazy? All of this is handmade. Every model, every texture you see in the game. The FAQ answer to "Does the game use AI generated assets?" is a single word. And that is no. Now, let's talk about how it feels to move through this world. Because this is where Beta Decay makes a choice that most games won't. Kray said it himself in one of the devlogs. The game is designed to be slow, sluggish, and weighty. Not sluggish as a flaw, sluggish as a philosophy. He highlighted stumbling as one of the most important design decisions in the game. The character stumbles. Your awareness matters. The pace is deliberate. Locomotion includes climbing, sliding, leaning, diving, going prone, sitting, sleeping, and a dynamic speed modifier for everything in between. You can take cover along walls, lean in and out, and transition fluidly between first and third person without a model swap or an animation cut. One character, one set of animations, both perspectives. Health, stamina, bioenergy, hunger, thirst, hygiene, restroom. These are your stats. Injury degrades individual limbs. Illness accelerates your decay factor, the rate at which everything deteriorates. You need food, you need water, you need sleep. The CYNI, the biosynaptic interface, displays all of it in world space. No cluttered HUD. The stats appear on your body in 2 variants, MK1 and MK2, where unlike equipment, you're not a superhero here. You're a person on a dying planet trying to stay alive. But survival alone won't keep you alive. Beta Decay has an economy, and not a token economy, a real one. It starts underground. You mine raw ore, chalcopyrite, which processes into copper. You refine monomers, ethylene into polyethylene, bisphenol into polycarbonate. The chemistry is real. The database has the molecular formulas. You take those refined materials to fabricators, produce finished goods, and route them into a market. That market connects to the Centauri Exchange, a functioning stock market with 50 publicly listed companies, share prices determined by fundamental values. You can buy, hold, and sell securities from physical terminals in the street. You can own property, purchase through an estate register. You can warehouse physical goods. The database already has 50 nomotypes cataloged with their own entries, 24 pieces of equipment, 7 ore types. The world is documented, systemized, and alive. And it's all player driven. The economy doesn't run on scripted events. It runs on what people actually do. Oh, wait a minute. Do you see that? What is that? Oh, yeah, right. And then there are the MCVs. Mechanized combat vehicles. You climb in, the cockpit has real switches and controls, manual inputs, and a physical UI. You monitor your systems, flip your instruments, and go to war. 3 torso types, 4 mountable weapon configurations, miniguns, RPGs countered by flares, heat-seeking missiles with lock-on. The database is already tracking MCV components, fuel injectors, oil filter centrifuges, individual parts with their own weight and function. The TM62M anti-tank mine, which is also cataloged in the database, is designed specifically to counter them. It activates under pressure. If you're rolling an MCV and someone's been through the area before you're finding out the hard way. This is what Combined Arms looks like in an indie RPG. Here's the thing about indie development that most people don't talk about. It's not the ambition that's hard. Ambition is easy. Plenty of people have ambitious ideas. What's hard is the 38th month, the devlog nobody asked for. The feature you thought was done that broke when you added networking. The voxel city system you built from scratch, played inside of, and then scrapped entirely because it didn't feel right. And you rebuilt it. That happened. Early builds of Beta Decay used voxels to construct entire city, cube by cube. Kray played inside it. It worked. And he tore it down because standing in it didn't match the vision. 4 years of that, every month, without stopping. Right now, 31 of the 51 early access features are ready for testing. 2 are fully locked. The remaining features are in progress, some of them still listed as to be added, held back for the 2026 trailer, which is in production as of the last devlog. Early access doesn't have a date, it comes when it's ready, which, again, is exactly what you'd expect. I don't know when Beta Decay releases. I don't know if it becomes everything the roadmap says it will be. Space travel, planetary train, spaceships you build component by component, a city underground that runs deeper than the one above. That's Beta plus Decay, the version after early access, the long game. Wishlist it on Steam, join the Discord, read the devlogs, 30 of them are free. And the world is called Alpha Centauri. It's run by people who don't care if you live. Welcome to the new frontier.